How can we screen police officers for PTSD and ISD?
TSD, so
TSD,
post-traumatic stress disorder
TSD.
And traumatic stress disorder.
All right, and remove or cycle them out of duty if they have mental health issues that increase the risk they will use excessive force or kill people unnecessarily. How can we better screen for violent tendencies and lack of self-control in hiring? How do we train police officers to develop the emotional discipline not to react and to know their duty is to protect everyone, including the people they are pulling over, arresting?
Right.
Good question.
Yeah, Stephanie, really, really brilliant, helpful question. I'm going to kind of take it in reverse order. At the end, you talked about, how do we train them? And the first thing is, we actually, if it's possible to chat open because there were 3 questions, but great, thanks. So the first thing that we will do, Stephanie, is we will pass state use of force standards and state use of force training standards that are up to date and cutting edge. In our country, we are the only country in the Western world that does not have national standards for police use of force or national standards for police use of force training. And actually, much of this is covered in a report on the Center for American Progress website called Towards Trust that I wrote after the uprisings in Baltimore in consultation with several dozen community-based organizations in Baltimore. So we will make sure that we have state-of-the-art standards in use of force and use of force training. And use of force training also includes de-escalation training. And so in a country like England, where most officers don't carry guns, they require their officers to be trained in when to use force, but also how to de-escalate tense situations every 6 months. In America, where those standards are typically balkanized amongst individual departments, so county, state level, county and city level, the most common standard is you're trained one day, like 8 hours, one day at the academy, 9 to 5, that's it. And after that, as they say, it's training day. If you saw the movie, it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't go very well. And so we will keep training officers continuously, whether it's police officers or teachers. We really have to be invested in continuing to help them evolve their skills, stay on the cutting edge of their craft. We want them to be the best of the best, and they do too. So, that's how we'll deal with that. With regards to mental health care, we have to destigmatize mental health care throughout our society, including with officers. And part of having health care for all will do that because, quite frankly, many officers come from working class communities where not a lot of people, use mental health because they can't afford it. But we will also make sure that there's no disincentives, that there's no sort of like taking away your intelligence, for instance, classification, if you're in the intelligence unit or you're a detective, if you're suddenly, in counseling. And we will encourage it as part of officer fitness. But, something related to that is we will better use personality tests for screening out officers in the front end. There's actually a fairly narrow range of personalities, sort of like authoritarian type personalities, that are associated with officers killing people. This is why in some of the more tragic videos we've watched where you can hear the voice of the officer, you'll hear the officer say, "But I told him not to do X," explaining why he killed him, when it doesn't really add up to anybody else who doesn't have that type of personality. And so we can actually filter out those personalities in the front end and make folks safer, in addition to providing good training and access to mental health throughout. Yes, and that actually answers your second question. So I believe that we've answered all 3. Thank you, Stephanie.